The biggest frustration for me is really just the injustice of this. This whole project is essentially built on a lie.
New tonight, Katu digs deeper on a multi-billion-dollar project. Portland is building a new water filtration facility. Ratepayers are on the hook for the cost. Critics say the Water Bureau is misleading taxpayers and city leaders on the necessity of the project. However, Katu investigator Wright Gazaway is on your side, getting answers from the city.
Federal rules require Portland to treat its water for cryptosporidium. That's a naturally occurring parasite sometimes found in water. At issue here is whether the city can do it for cheaper. Construction is well underway at the site of Portland's brand new water filtration site in East Multnomah County. Many neighbors, like Ian Corder, say it's disrupted their community. Now they're pushing back on the reason it's being built.
They've sold this to the public on the basis that we need this for cryptosporidium, and that is not the case.
Katu Investigates has been digging into this for months. On your side, understanding the law. Federal rules do require treatment for cryptosporidium. However, our investigation found the EPA does not care how water providers do that. Portland chose this facility, which has exploded fourfold in cost to more than $2 billion.
If you have a cryptosporidium issue, treat for cryptosporidium. You don't need a full treatment facility like this. Save the city of Portland, literally save the city of Portland $2 billion and build what you need for cryptosporidium.
Ian says that would also save his community. UV treatment is a cheaper alternative. It kills cryptosporidium. Some water providers use it. Portland City Council opted against it in 2017 and chose filtration. The city signed a binding agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to do so by September 2027. Jody Inman is the Water Bureau's chief engineer. When the costs kept increasing over the last 5 or 6 years, given the situation the city was in financially, did the Water Bureau ever have discussions about going back to OHA and saying, hey, can we satisfy this requirement with UV, and then as the city's in a better financial position to afford the filtration, we can take that on at that point in the future? Was that ever considered?
So because the current city's financial situation is current, and we were making this decision. The decision to go with filtration back in 2017 is 8 years old. We didn't really ever go back and look at it. I think one of the primary directives that we've been operating under and that our city leadership has been very clear on is that we want to make smart and efficient investments. And a lot of that has to do with deciding, do you spend, as I mentioned, hundreds of millions of dollars on something that we would still be paying for in 10 to 15 years when we would need to be starting to build filtration?
One benefit to filtration, Jody says, is that it addresses dangers posed by natural disasters, like wildfires. She believes the city will need it at some point in the future. She calls UV a one-trick pony.
You know, I see bomb cyclones, I see, earthquakes off the Oregon and California coast. We had forest fires at higher levels than ever before. We've had algal events in the Northwest. Those things are happening today. They are happening today. So the ability to postpone filtration to some unknown, long, far out period, to me, doesn't really exist and doesn't make sense. Why would we spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a solution that does nothing to help all of the risks that we know are actively threatening our water system today?
There are examples of wildfires, for instance, though, knocking filtration facilities offline. So are they even an end-all be-all for that threat?
So filtration is not going to solve everything, but what is the primary outcome of a forest fire in the watershed is an increased sediment load and increased metals and things that end up getting into the water supply. So what will happen is that with a filtration facility, we will still be able to filter and deliver water.
City commissioners are the only ones who can voluntarily stop this project. Mayor Ted Wheeler asked the Bureau this at a council meeting earlier this year.
Is there a breaking point? Is there a point at which The cost of this project exceeds the benefits.
Jody told the mayor in April, no. City Council voted to accept a $300 million increase that day to the project.
Do you believe the Water Bureau has been as transparent as possible with city councilors on this project, its requirements, and why it's necessary?
I truly do. It can be difficult to continue to educate new members of council and new leaders just about the complexities of how we got here, the timing of those decisions, and what has been the reason for those decisions. So we've tried to be very transparent with council, but sometimes it takes needing to have that one-on-one sit-down time to sort of work through and understand. And typically once we've had that, they have agreed with the decision no matter how hard it's been that has been made.
Ian and others near the project say they won't stop fighting to stop it.
Jody says the Water Bureau has taken extraordinary steps to address concerns from people near this site. She says it's in the least disruptive place and the best spot to build it. Ian and others disagree. Jody admits the Water Bureau likely will never find common ground with people who want to stop the project. At the live desk, Reich Azaway, K2 News.
Well, neighbors and businesses near the site appealed the county's land use approval to the Oregon Land Use Board of Appeals, and the state board's appeal decision is expected by the end of the week. We'll let you know what's decided. Do you have a story for Wright? You can email him at k2investigates@katu.com or leave a voicemail 503-231-4205.